Welcome back to Lifestyle. We're so glad that you're spending this hour with us. We know that you'll be inspired. And listen, this next duo, they are making over East Nashville one ugly house at a time. They are company East Designs, and if you're looking for inspiration for contemporary style, well, they've got it. And I want to introduce to you my next guest. Roger Tucker is here, and Peggy Daniel. We're so glad that both of you are here.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us back.
Absolutely. And we want to know a little bit. Now, you started this company together as you're a great duo, and you each have strengths. Tell me about your business and what you're all about.
Well, I've been renovating houses, I think, since probably about 2001, but I met Peggy around, I think, late 06, something like that. And we both had a love for unique design and contemporary design and bringing back old houses. So we decided to kind of start the business together and kind of went from there. We're not like a lot of the companies out there who are buying houses and tearing them down and building new houses. We like to take what's already there and just elaborate on that, improve that.
Mm-hmm. And you're not really flippers either. You know, we hear a lot of people saying, well, I'm going to flip a home. You will go to the extra mile to spend the dollars to make it a wow factor.
It's very important to us to give the buyer of one of our homes a great home for as long as they want to own it, and just have it be a good home for a long time. So that's very important to us. So we put a lot of detail into our homes, and our buyers seem to appreciate that.
Well, I can say that I got to witness just right down the road from me a house that they remodeled, and I was just cheering them on because I was so excited. They got down to where they had actually sold the house, and this is the attention to detail. I wanted to see the house on the interior one more time, and she said, "Oh, did you hear the doorbell?" And so they punched the doorbell and the song Happy, and I said, no way. So I mean, even from the phone down to the doorbell.
We do our best. We try. We just make it something fun like we would want to.
I know you guys have such great ideas, and we're going to talk about, you know, a lot of people when they're remodeling their bathroom, their vanities, one of the things you talk about is using marine paint. We're going to see an example of this, but let's look at some of the images that we have of the vanities and tell me what you did in each of these.
Okay. In this case, we had a large master bath, and we needed a very large piece of furniture. I'm not sure you can tell the scale of this, but we needed something that was over 100 inches. So we found this large oversized sideboard from Mexico, and we just modified it by, we had to actually cut off the ends of it a little bit that overhung, and added the vessel sinks, and so we made a great, you know, custom vanity for the master of this house.
I like that, and I like that you've used the 2 mirrors and then the 3 sconces. Really, it's such a clean look, but it's very, very warm.
It is, and that vanity really warmed up that entire space, so I agree, yes. This is an example of, we had a small bathroom and a little ranch, and we wanted to come up with something unique and give it an industrial feel. So we went to Home Depot and put together, with all of these different plumbing parts, a vanity base. And then we basically added a slab piece of wood to the top, sealed it, and then added our sink again to the top, and it gave a really cool vibe to that bathroom.
Now, is this where you used the marine paint? Because you mentioned that before.
Right. This was not the marine paint. This was a marine sealer. It was like a clear poly
coat
kind of sealer. Yes.
And tell me why you recommend that.
Well, because in this case, it's a wood top, and with water accessible to it, you just want to protect it for as long as possible.
But the marine paint is made to go on ships, right? I mean,
absolutely.
It's really going to hold up. Now, what are it looks like almost like little metal pieces that you've added. What are those? Just a nail heads?
Well, we used a lath strip around the edge of the wood, and then we used little bolts that had nuts attached around the edge as well to hold the lath strip on.
Wow, that is a great look. Love that.
Thank you.
Oh, I love the detailing in this one.
I love this too. This was in a mid-century style house that we were doing. We were doing a play with the contemporary as well. So we found a couple of vintage dressers and they had already been repainted by an artist. So we just got these two, well, this is one of them that the two dressers we got, and then we added a glass top and then a vessel sink on top.
I like that you use the square, and even the back plates on your hardware is in the square. How did you decide? I mean, is there a method to your madness?
Yes, there is. We spend, I can't tell you how many hours we spend trying to, you know, figure out what we want to go with. But this, we did go with the square escutcheon plates on the back of that faucet.
I believe the shower was the same way, so we were trying to go with a theme throughout the bathroom. But you know, in terms of the marine paint too, what we've found is that anything that we use, if it's a furniture, you know, with a raw wood or something like that, you can put. We've done glass on several of those to protect the wood, marine paint, and like she said, we had the marine epoxy on the other vanity as well. But we just try hard not to put something that's right off the shelf from Home Depot or Lowe's. We want all of our vanities to be something unique and one of a kind to each house.
This vanity was in a small half bath, and we were looking for a solution because we could only go so deep. So we just framed up wall to wall, covered it in plywood, and then we had it wrapped in metal. Then we added the metal detail around the edges and the nail heads along the front to give it a little more of a unique vibe. Plus, we did floor to ceiling backsplash tile, and that really made the whole room feel bigger.
And I'll have to say, this sink is so interesting. It looks, and I've seen this up close, it looks like it's literally just carved out of one piece of rock.
And it is, actually. It is just a big piece of rock that's been carved out and made into a sink.
See, I love you guys. Are so cool. You just got that vibe. This is great.
Thank you. This is another one of the 50s vanities. You can see that we added a little glass countertop to it, another vessel sink, and then we also updated the hardware on this to give it a little more of a contemporary vibe.
Now, where would you pick something like this, the vanities? When you say that you don't pick them up at home stores, you pick them up what?
This was a store that we found that repurposed a lot of furniture and salvaged it. And
salvage.
So, yes, and they had already painted them and everything, and so, you know, it just worked out.
I like that. I like the detailing on this.
I love this one too. This is one of my favorites for a small bathroom. It's just simply a slab piece of wood that's been painted with that marine paint. We used L brackets to mount it to the wall, and then used a really neat, fun little vessel sink that has koi fish in it. But then the floor-to-ceiling tile in this really makes this so much more special to me, and I think it has a really zen quality, and it's masculine and feminine at the same time.
Well, I like the bowl sink, and I like how you have installed it on the backsplash, so it's coming straight out.
Yeah, the faucet, yes.
That's one thing you may have noticed through most all of our vanities. A lot of times you get in a situation where you don't have the depth or the space in that bathroom to do a normal standard size vanity, so we'll do the faucets out of the wall, which allows you to do a much shallower base, you know, for the sink.
Right, and you don't have to worry about cutting your countertop up to put all of your holes. You can just literally pull it right out of the wall.
Right.
Yes.
That's a great look as well. Well, I know that you like to use architectural pieces. You found some amazing things. Where do you get your inspiration? Where do you find these things?
We do research online. We just come up with stuff. Sometimes we're just out shopping and we'll find something and just say, oh, this would be great, you know. So it could be a number of different reasons.
Even if we're not in the middle of a renovation, we're always looking wherever we go. We're looking for unique things, you know, that we might be able to use in another house. And we've sometimes bought pieces, held on to them for 2 or 3 years before we found the right house to put it in. You know.
Do you have a warehouse somewhere? Like
it's called my basement.
Oh, okay. The reclaimed pieces. You think one day this is going to be perfect for, you know, just that. I like how you do layers too, whether you're doing a vanity area and we're going to show the before and afters of your homes, but you love to talk a little bit about railings and columns and doors. is also another thing. I mean, you really like to give detail. Tell us a little bit about that.
We hardly ever do a standard door. I mean, that's kind of become one of our signatures, I think, for our houses, is that we custom make all of our doors, with the exception of sometimes back doors, but I'm talking about entrance doors. We want something really special, something to give real curb appeal and something that fits that particular house. So a lot of the time we'll just actually go and buy a solid wood door slab, and then depending on whatever house we're doing, we try and design what we want out of that door slab. We'll cut holes, you know, in different shapes and insert glass, sometimes opaque glass or stained glass, different things.
Barnwood,
Right.
metal, whatever it takes to give us the look that we want for that house.
I've popped on your website too, and I didn't see a door that you had repeated.
Yeah. We're
Every
big on
door
that.
is very unique.
Right.
And that's a good tip too for the viewers is, you know, make sure that your door, your front door says something about you. You know, just because you maybe purchased a house, maybe inherited a home, you don't have to keep the same door. You can always replace it. Well, we've got some more before and after, some pretty dramatic.
Okay.
We've got a porch that we're going to show how you can really turn that into a more contemporary design. Now, this is the before. Yikes.
Yeah. So basically here we bricked in the existing garage door area that they were using on the left there. It had a door that exited out. So we had that bricked in, and then we added another door that came out from the kitchen, and a deck with, well, that was an existing deck, but the steps we added, one that went down to the driveway and one that went down to the deck. And because in this yard, I mean, something you can't see from this photo is that there was no privacy fence on the far right side. So
I think we have an up-close picture of that too. So you created this. Now, what is this made of? Tell me all the textures here.
this is some salvaged barn wood, some barn tin, and just some metal tubing that we had. And it actually, the barn wood and the metal tied in with what we did on the front door of this house and also on the chimney. But this was just a really cool way to give the homeowners a sense of privacy from their neighbors, without adding a full,
because there's a driveway.
Yes.
And then we've got some more before and afters. This is a lovely home that you purchased. This is called the Ugly Mug.
This is one of our favorite.
Tell me about the mug shot.
One of our favorite houses, I think. And when we bought this house, it was actually condemned and scheduled for demolition. Most people, you know, the day we bought it was over there. They're like, "What are you doing? Are you tearing it down, or what are you going to do?" I mean, it was really bad shape. But just like I said, we try hard not to ever demolish anything completely.
But look what you did with this, and I love the shutters. I mean,
Thank you.
large shutters on around the. You know, most people would think, oh, those are going to be too large. But didn't you tell me that this was out of New Orleans or something? You had reclaimed these pieces. I love your attention to repurposing and reclaiming.
Yeah, we went to a local salvage store, or a couple of local salvage stores, I think, you know, in the process of doing this house to try and find some pieces to give it curb appeal. I mean, yeah, it was blueprint-wise, it was your standard shotgun house, but we looked to New Orleans and online with pictures and stuff like that for our inspiration to try and come up with our own little take on.
And I like this little sunrise that's in the front. It just kind of gives you that nice little gingerbread detailing.
We had a little craftsman make these. We designed them, and then he made them for us, and it just turned out wonderful.
This particular house, I mean, in the original photo, as you saw, you know, the porch was really low. Didn't have at all the feel on the outside that it did on the inside. And not that the inside was beautiful or anything like that. It was condemned for demolition. But as with every house that we look at, we go in and we find the beauty there and start dreaming. And this had 10-foot tall ceilings. So for curb appeal wise, we raised that porch up, you know, to really give it the presence that it had on the inside as well. So.
And adding all the architectural details, that's something that you all enjoy doing. And what do you consider when you think, oh, well, let's add some architectural? Do you throw out the rules, or do you try to go by the era, or you know, what's your
We usually give a nod to the era, but we usually try to think outside the box and use something in an unusual way, even if it's an architectural salvage piece. So that's what we try to do.
I think, Peggy, you actually give a little wink to it, and you go, you know what?
Wink and a nod.
I love it. But I would absolutely just say kudos to you all. I have seen the work that you've done, incredible work, and we've been putting your website up on the screen as well so that people can get in contact with you if they want to talk with you about making over their homes, or if they want to get ideas maybe for a new front door, because I know pretty soon you guys are going to launch a little front door thing, and we're going to talk to you. But we've got some party tips we're going to give away for you guys a little bit later. But thank you so much for being on the show. And as you always know, that Ilex for Flowers is the best place. In fact, our camera guy was talking about this. He said, hey, is this that sugared fruit? He was watching the show last week and saw the sugar fruit. It does look like sugar right on the top. And listen, if you need some flowers, you can contact Ilex for Flowers, 736-5200. And coming up, theme parties are so much fun. It's the year of the horse, and we're going to show you how to create a Chinese party with table setters. Becky Charton is going to be here. So come on back. We'll have some fun.